to take advantage
We're gonna play a
of
little
a
bit of it
sweet
to
girl
y'all.
like me. I know that if you had the chance to, I would never be
Ladies and gentlemen, there was a video that was put up yesterday. That video was flagged because I showed the POD video in the background alive, and because I used that image footage, they flagged it. That's why it was not up in time, but it is up now, I do believe. I'm installing TurboTax, as I spoke of on the last two videos, because that's what I'll be using for my taxes. Now, again, one of my corporation's taxes have already been completed as of last week. Now we're working on the other two, and one of them is my sole proprietorship. Okay, and then the next I'll be working on is for the assignment of the tax credit. I'm not worried about their stupidity. Look, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about summary judgment, shall we? Summary judgment is not a lawsuit, and that's what's happening when we're filing our request for summary judgment. We're filing it the wrong way. Part of that is my fault because we were preparing documents for people and we were making it such and such versus such and such. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that is incorrect. We cannot be doing it such and such versus such and such. We should be doing it as in re. In re this and explaining the situation to the court that we're looking for a summary disposition on an arbitration award. So summary disposition on an arbitration award. That's all we're looking for. Now there's no filing fee for a civil filing because a civil filing means a controversy. This is not a controversy. Nobody's controverting anything. So apologize for the mishap because I didn't see it. What do you mean you didn't see it? I thought you were all knowing. You know what I know? I know you need to get this out of my face. I'm sorry, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, again, it's not my job to do all the research for all of it. But it wasn't until I was having a conversation about this yesterday that I realized, in explaining it to the person, that I'd already realized it. I just didn't tell it to anybody. I realized that the problem was we were coming into the court the wrong way. So, as I told you all, what you do is you go into the court on your summary pleadings. What are your summary pleadings? That's the administrative process. That you and that party had a prior relationship. You show the prior relationship and that they attempted to recontract with you. You don't have to document how they recontracted with you and that you sent them a counter offer and that they were required by the agreement to respond. Sorry, allergies again, and I am outside. So they were required by the agreement to respond. They chose not to. By choosing not to, they committed a term of the agreement. The agreement specifically says if you fail or refuse to respond, or fail to respond with specificities and facts and conclusions of law, common law, then it will be deemed as them assenting to the contract. That's why that's put in there. Hold on one second, everyone. Yes, okay. So they assented to the agreement. If they have assented to the agreement, then the only issue here, Your Honor, is whether or not they were required to respond and the fact that they were served notice of this hearing. They have not put any evidence before the court as to providing any response that would equate to a response under the terms of the new condition. Even if they were to say that we don't want to be a part of this agreement, even if they wanted to say we opt out, they don't have that as an avenue because we also put in there a debt validation request, letting them know that the debt was now being disputed. So if the debt is being disputed, they're required to respond. They did not respond. Our new contract have QWRs. Okay. Now, if you notice, the new contracts have the EON Foundation as the secondary foundation, second choice. The reason why the EON Foundation is on the new documents is because when they want to call an arbitrator in to question the arbitrator like they've been doing, they'll be calling me. And they will be paying for my transport. They will be paying me for my time. You don't just call me in to testify. No, you're going to pay for my time as an expert witness because I qualify as an expert witness due to my experience. I'm not playing with the courts. And I am getting ready to start suing judges. I don't have a problem doing it. And I'm going after judges. I don't have a problem saying that. Why? Because I told them just do your motherfucking job and leave me alone and we're going to be all right. And apparently they don't want to do their job. Well, I'm so afraid for you. If you do this, then that means they're going to come after you again. Ladies and gentlemen, they're going to come after me whether I do this or not. So I'm not concerned about that. I'm not scared of them. I'm not running. If they were to come around the corner right now, I'm in the backyard. If they were to come around the corner right now with guns blazing, I would not move. I would not flinch. I would not jump. I don't have time. I don't have time for the games. They want to take my life, by all means, take it. I mean, the God that I serve won't allow it, but if they think they can outthink him and outdo him, hey, so be it. But this is the way it is, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this is Chip. And the song that they're singing is Good Times. And as a matter of fact, I told you guys, I've always hated this group. The reason being because the beat in the background is the beat that Sugar Hill Gang used for the very first commercial rap. Greatest rap of all times. Why? Because it was three different raps all in one. But because they used this beat right here, there was no 8 bars limit. They came up with the 8 bar principle because of this particular beat right here in the case of Chick versus Sugar Hill. Okay? Pretty much ran those guys bankrupt. And of course, they didn't care. They didn't care because they had attorneys who weren't of color. And so you had one group of people of color going after another group of people of color, and they couldn't see the long lasting effects of that. I did. I was 11, 12 years old when Rapper's Delight came out. And when Rapper's Delight came out, I'm sitting up there listening to it, and I'm Wonder Mike. Okay, that was my part. I had to learn that without a tape recorder. I had to learn being Wonder Mike by just listening to the song when it came on the radio. Now, I don't know if you guys know how often songs come on radios and they repeat themselves back in the late 70s, but it wasn't that often. So I had to listen and listen and listen for this song to come on, for Rapper's Delight to come on to learn the words. Well, that's enough about me talking about Rapper's Delight. Let's get back to your getting your awards confirmed through summary judgment. Ladies and gentlemen, what needs to be said is that you're going into court not for a hearing on a trial. You're going into court for a hearing on a process. Proof that you sent documents to the people. You're going to highlight that you notified them that you had a prior agreement. And the wind is starting to pick up a little bit right now, more so than it has been all afternoon. And I'm okay with that because the air is not all that bad. But you want to highlight your process. You want to highlight that you've done everything you're required to do, that you supplied and gave them proper notice. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I just saw that Ahmaud Aubrey, the young man who was killed from jogging, how that federal grand jury has charged the 3 men with hate crimes and attempted kidnapping. I think that that's a proper charge based upon the evidence that has been presented thus far. We do know for a fact that he wasn't stealing anything. We do know for a fact that they shot him and tried to cover it up. So when people, this was a former so-called this and so-called that. And if it had not been for the publicity brought up on that case, we would never have known the truth. They did this away from everybody, away from the public. If they had not been trying to prove that they were the heroes, we would never know about this case. Aubrey would just be another statistic of somebody being killed and shot and not having any evidence as to how that happened. That's what LeBron James, Maxine Waters are saying they're tired of seeing. And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm tired of seeing it too, but I do know that man can't do anything about it. Man can't correct this. It's man that has caused this problem. It is the government, it is the system that has allowed this problem to perpetuate throughout the entire Earth sphere. No matter where you go, there is injustice. Okay, back to getting your awards done through summary judgment. Once you get your summary judgment, there is no judge that can say that your contract is bogus. There's no judge to say that your process is bogus. There is no judge to say that the arbitrator did something incorrectly or wrong, because you will have a judgment from the court directly associated with your process, which documents that you gave notice, which documents that they did not respond. Then you take that and you go and you get that confirmed. Why? Based on the fact that you've completed your process. You have to do full circle. That's what's being advised right now. Those of you who are paying attention, go back over this video step by step. Serve your parties. Have proof. Serve the notice of fault, opportunity to cure. Have proof. Serve the notice of intent. Have proof that you served it. Okay? Once you do that, SAA, you send that to them for doing the arbitration award. SAA will assign it to an arbitrator or another arbitration association depending on the circumstances. They will then utilize SAA to act as service of process agent. SAA will send it out as a process server through the United States Postal Service, the official process server for the United States. You will get your hearing. If you are in the right, if your request is in the right, then it will be granted in your favor. If you are in the wrong, nothing will be granted in your favor. You could actually be sanctioned, although it's highly unlikely, unless there's obvious egregious conduct on your part. But what happens is we've had several where people have come and they sought for an arbitration award and it did not meet the criteria for an arbitration. And so they had to be turned back. We even gave one guy a full year to correct his problem. Well, a year and 2 months, and he still didn't correct it. So it had to be let go of. We had to tell him, sorry, because you wasted our time. We told you what you needed to do, and you didn't listen. Now, if you didn't listen to us, you can't complain when they sit up there and hit you across the head because you're not listening to them. Okay? After you have your arbitration hearing, now you go into court for summary judgment on your pleadings. What are your pleadings? The fact that you have a contract with the opposing party. It was a pre-existing contract, and you did a conditional acceptance agreement with them. They accepted that agreement as complying with one of the terms. That they failed to respond, acknowledging their acquiescence. The court will automatically say, what do you mean acquiescence? Silence is not equal to acquiescence. It does if it amounts to conduct. Just that simple. It does if it amounts to conduct. Just that simple. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we need to go any further. This is LTD featuring Jeffrey Osborne, and I know this is Shine On, but yep, Shine On. We're gonna let that stay. I just wanted to give you guys an update on the summary judgment, and hopefully this information will be beneficial. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 80%, well, 82%, sorry, not 80, 82% towards our goal. Still, after 4 days, and it looks like the closer you get to something, the harder it is to get there. If you are appreciative of the information being provided to you and you want to donate, the button for donating is underneath the video. We're going to stop this at 4:30, 14 minutes, 30 seconds. Have a good day, everyone. Goodbye.